What's up everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to light a scene with one of the most primitive lights known to man. Candlelight still pops up all the time in film and TV shows, whether it's something like medieval with knights and a castle, or maybe it's something post-apocalyptic and like the grid has been wiped out, so it's all they still have. So candlelight is still a very prevalent and commonly used things in films today. So we're going to take a look at a few different ways that you can use it to light a little scene or short film or whatever it is that you're making for your next video. It's important to know a few basic techniques when you're lighting with candlelight, whether it's knowing how to augment or supplement that light when it's not bright enough with some other film lights, or just knowing what color temperature in Kelvin you should be setting your camera to. Let's take a look at a scene that we created. This is supposed to look like it was like back in the 1800s and they were only using candlelight in the house. Now what I want to do is break down how we lit this and then show you guys a few different options of how you can light a scene like this. So this version of the scene is the most lit one we'll look at. And to start off, we've got the candles that are lighting our model and the wall behind her and the table and a lot of the objects on it. Then next we've got the source 4 light that is shooting into a gold reflector, which is bouncing some warm light back onto our model, and that's acting as a key light. Now this light is meant to really augment or supplement the candlelight. So it's supposed to look motivated and like this light is actually coming from the candles. And the main reason we didn't point this light right at our subject is so that we could get the nice flicker effect. So let me explain. Basically, by using the reflector and just lightly jiggling it and moving it around back and forth, it creates these nice reflections of light that kind of just dance and move around the room on the different objects and our subject and even the walls around her. And what this really does is augment that flicker from the candlelight and make it even more prevalent so that it just looks a little bit more believable, because the candlelights by themselves don't provide enough flicker. We want even more flicker to really sell that the whole room is just being lit by candles. This effect works super well, especially if you're on a budget and you don't have the money for a flicker box, or you don't want to sit there and flicker your lights up and down with the dimmer switch or on and off and trying to get it just right. So if you're looking for a well-lit scene and you want it to look like the light is very motivated and actually coming from the candlelight, this is a good technique to use. Now let's take a look at the scene without the extra key light. This has a whole nother look and feel to it. It's much darker now, but it feels a lot less artificially lit and is a bit more believable for a dark candlelit scene. I personally prefer this look. Now let's take a look at the scene without the hair light or backlight turned on. And that was supposed to look like it was moonlight just coming in through the back window and kind of lighting up a little bit of her hair and the side of her head, but we want to see what the scene looks like without that on. With the backlight off, our subject isn't standing out from the background as much anymore, but there's still enough contrast from that back window, still allowing her to be outlined nicely. Now, for me personally, I love hair lights, so I would definitely keep it on. Another thing to note is we're definitely losing some detail on the table, so you can't even see the book hardly anymore either. Finally, let's take a look at our scene with it being lit by candlelight only and nothing else, no film lights. But first, let's talk about our moonlight coming in through the back window. What I did to achieve this is I took 2 layers of CTB or color temperature blue and put them on my source 4 to help really cool it down and make it look a lot more like moonlight shining in through that window. I also have my camera's white balance dialed down to 3000 Kelvin to really help cool down the scene and also match it a little bit closer to the candlelight, which is naturally closer to about 2000 Kelvin. By using those cool blues in the background and then warm color temperatures in the foreground, it creates that nice teal and orange look that everyone's looking for, and it allows you to get it all straight out of the camera with no LUTs or color grading at all. Once we kill our moonlight or source 4, things get very dark. This might work well for your story if it's supposed to be a little creepy or maybe to emphasize the darkness surrounding a character. Either way, it has its own interesting look and natural power to it. I love the look of Candlelight, and I think it just looks so cool. I'm going to start using it in a lot more of my projects and finding some ways to just work it into the frame. So leave a comment below and tell me some ways that you would use Candlelight in your next project. Guys, if you want to learn how to light and shoot better videos, hit subscribe right now. I have so many more videos coming out on shooting, editing, everything like that. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video.